Chapter 14. Oliver finds peace and happiness with the Maylie. Oliver was ill for 10 days. Then, little by little, he began to get better. Something, however, was worrying the boy. Rose asked him what it was. I wish I could see Mr. Brownlow, Oliver told her. I would like to tell him that I did not steal his books. When you are stronger, you shall go and see him, Rose promised. Not long after this, Dr. Losburn took Oliver to London to look for Mr. Brownlow. How fast Oliver's heart beat when they entered the street where Mr. Brownlow lived. That's it, he cried breathlessly, pointing to a large white house. The carriage stopped. On Mr. Brownlow's gate was a notice. The house to let. Oliver almost wept with disappointment. Mr. Brownlow had gone away. His house was empty. Perhaps the people next door can tell us where he is, Dr. Losburn said, but the neighbors could only say that Mr. Brownlow had gone away 6 weeks before. They also said his housekeeper and his friend Mr. Grimwig had gone with him. What could Oliver and the kind-hearted doctor do? They had to turn back home. Oliver was bitterly disappointed. However, as the carriage drew nearer Mrs. Maylies' house, his spirits rose. He was going home. There he was sure to find love and kindness. Indeed, Mrs. Maylie and Rose loved the boy. So did kind-hearted Dr. Losburn. At the beginning of spring, the Maylie took Oliver to their house in the country. There the fruit trees were in blossom. The garden and the fields were full of flowers, and how the birds sang. Oliver had never known such peace and such happiness. Every morning Oliver went to an old gentleman who taught him to read and to write. He went for walks with Rose and Mrs. Maylie. In the evening they sat together and talked, or Rose read aloud to them. Often Rose played the piano and sang. Old Mrs. Maylie loved to listen to his. So did Oliver. Every night he slept peacefully in a clean bed in his own room. 3 months passed by like this. There were months of perfect happiness for Oliver Twist. How much longer could this happiness last? Not longer. The artful Dodger had found out where Oliver was living. Fagin was after the boy. With Fagin there was the evil Mr. Monks. For some mysterious purpose, this Mr. Monks wanted to make a criminal of Oliver. One evening Oliver saw them both. It happened like this. Oliver had been reading in his room at a table near the window. It was late in the evening and he fell asleep over his book. Sleeping, he had a fearful dream. He dreamed that he was back again in Fagin's room. He woke up with a cry of terror, and there on the other side of the window, two evil faces were staring at him. Fagin's and a face with a red scare. Oliver screamed for help. Gills, Brittles, and Dr. Losburn come running in with Rose and Mrs. Maylie. It's Fagin. Fagin's out there, cried the terrified boy. They all rushed into the garden. Although they searched everywhere, they could not find the two criminals. Perhaps it was a dream, my boy, said the doctor. No, no, I saw them. The doctor was puzzled. I cannot understand, he said afterwards to Mrs. Maylie and Rose. Why Fagin is still after the boy? There must be a reason, and a strong reason, and why is that man with the scare after Oliver? There's something very strange behind all this. I wish I know what it was. Dr. Losburn was right. There was something very strange behind all this. Time would show what it was.